Installing the Falcon water-free urinal is easy. A typical installation takes about an hour. Before we begin, it's vital to understand that Falcon water-free urinal should never be installed in facilities with copper drain, waste, and vent piping. It is also vital that the drain height is correct and that the drain line has the proper pitch to ensure effective drainage. The urinal comes with complete installation instructions and all the hardware needed for new or retrofit installations. Keep the instructions handy. You'll need to refer to them throughout the installation process. Before starting installation, check the rough-in height for the drain pipe according to the instructions for the specific model you are installing. In retrofit installations, first shut off the water supply and cap the pipe nipple using Teflon tape. A 3/4-inch chrome cap designed to fit the most common size of supply pipe is included with the installation kit. Once the pipe is capped, empty the old fixture with a wet-dry vacuum. Next, carefully use a utility knife to cut the caulk around the existing urinal. Do not try to pull the fixture off the wall, as you can cause damage to the wall or tile. Use a thin, flexible putty knife or scraper and a rubber mallet to remove the urinal. Again, be careful not to damage the wall or tile. Remove the old gasket and clean the face of the existing wall flange. Remove the hanger brackets, scrape off any remaining caulk, and thoroughly clean the wall. Now, use a drain machine with 2-inch side cutter blades to remove scale buildup in the existing drain pipe. It is essential that the line is open and clear to allow waste and water to naturally flow away. Clean the drain line as far as possible to a depth of up to 25 to 35 feet. Then flush well with water to remove any debris. Next, install the retainer flange that came with your new water-free urinal. Be sure the gasket seal and clear plastic inspection disc are in place. If the nipple has no flange, thread the included 2-inch nut on the nipple with the inspection disc in place. Slowly pour a small amount of water into the drain. Using a flashlight, check the pitch of the drain pipe. There should be no water left in the inspection disc or nipple. Now, remove the flange. If standing water is present in the inspection disc or nipple, you'll need to adjust the nipple to achieve the correct pitch. Building codes require a 1/4-inch drop per foot of line for proper drainage. You may need to lift the drain nipple and brace it with the provided mending plate. It may be necessary to cut away a small section of wall in order to raise the nipple to the proper height. This is a very important step, as the drain pitch must meet code so that wastewater can flow away naturally and efficiently. Follow building code requirements to repair and seal the wall after adjusting drain pitch. Now it's time to position the unibracket. It's essential to do it correctly. First, measure the rough-in height from the floor to the center of the drain line. Then refer to the installation instructions for the correct height of the unibracket and add this to the rough-in height. Measure and mark with horizontal lines. Next, find the center of the drain line. Using a carpenter's level, make a vertical mark across the horizontal line. This is the correct location for the center anchor of the unibracket. Hold the unibracket in place, making sure it's level, and use it as a template to mark the proper location for the anchors. Score the tile or wall with a nail set or punch. Next, use a drill with a carbide tip masonry bit to drill all 3 holes. When drilling, be sure to take all appropriate safety precautions, such as using protective eyewear. Now install the anchors. Screw the unibracket loosely into place. Level it again, then tighten the screws completely by hand. If a sufficient number of pre-existing bearing rods from an in-wall carrier can be used, the additional screws are not required. Vitreous china urinals are heavy. Always use safe lifting practices when handling the Falcon water-free urinal. Carefully hang the bowl on the unibracket. Check the tailpipe. It should align with the center of the drain line with a 1/4 inch of clearance all around the drain. If it does not, note how much distance is required to correctly align the tailpipe. Then remove the bowl and adjust the unibracket as needed. With the tailpipe aligned correctly, mark the lower anchor holes. Carefully remove the bowl without moving the hanger bracket. Determine the length of the drain nipple by measuring the distance from the back of the sanitary T or elbow to the front edge of the flange. Find the nipple depth on the cutting chart printed on the installation instructions. Mark the specified trim length on the insert tube at the nearest 1/4-inch groove. Using a sharp utility knife, carefully cut the tube, making sure your cut is square. If necessary, remove any burrs from the cut end. Apply lubricant to the outside of the rubber bushing. Place the tube and bushing into the drain nipple with the arrow tab at the top. Position the seal end of the flange with the ribs facing out. Install the flange with washer and hex nuts, but do not tighten completely. Now drill holes for the lower anchor screws and insert the plastic anchors. Loosely hang the gear clamp with the screw head at the bottom, but do not tighten. Lubricate the inside of the bushing. Lubricate the tailpipe. If there's no flange, insert the tube and tighten the included 2-inch nut on the drain line. Place the gear clamp with the screw head at the bottom. Do not tighten. Now, carefully hang the bowl, making sure the tailpipe enters the bushing correctly. There should be no weight on the tailpipe. Carefully tighten the flange bolts and gear clamp. Install the anchor screws with washers. Be careful not to over-tighten. Pour 5 gallons of water into the bowl as rapidly as possible. Check to ensure proper flow and that there are no leaks and no standing water remaining in the housing. Next, insert the cartridge into the housing. Using the key with the prongs facing down, turn the cartridge clockwise to lock it into place. The cartridge should lock with the logo in the 12 o'clock position. Now fill the cartridge with 1 quart or more of fresh water. This is important because the urinal will function properly only if the cartridge is completely filled with fresh water until no air bubbles appear. Once the cartridge is filled, it's time to add the blue sealant. Add the entire contents of the sealant package, allowing ample time for it to drain into the cartridge. After the cartridge is completely filled with sealant, wipe up any excess. Finally, caulk the bowl to the wall and affix the Falcon water-free plaque. As you've seen, installing the Falcon water-free urinal is not complicated. Your urinal will provide dependable, worry-free operation if you follow these important reminders. First, never install Falcon water-free urinals in facilities using copper drain, waste, or vent pipes. Next, confirm that the rough-in height will allow for compliance with local code and ADA requirements. Height specifications are listed in the installation instructions. In retrofit installations, the drain line must be cleaned as far as possible to a depth of 25 to 35 feet. Finally, the drain line must have the proper pitch in accordance with standard plumbing code so that waste can flow away. By following each of the steps outlined in this presentation, you'll find it simple and fast to install the Falcon water-free urinal. If you have questions, call our customer care team toll-free at 1-866-975-0174 or email service@falconwaterfree.com. And if you'd like to become a certified water-free urinal installer, please contact us.